Hello and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 2, the movie. When we last left off, we had had a really strange dream involving Imowen and Irenicus at the Mithrest Inn.
No! No! What? What?
So Jaheira didn't sleep too well either, but today we're going to concentrate on appeasing Edward and Corgan, both
I
of whose
remember
quests
something of
are...
this place. There are soothsayers and conjurers that whisper in hushed tones about an artifact lost to antiquity, but not so lost to a perceptive mage.
Yeah, so both of their quests can be solved here in the Graveyard District, both in the lower tombs actually, but we're going to do some other things first before we head down into the lower tombs. As we discover the map here. This may be the first actual map we've had to paint, as they call it. Internal, actual large map that we've had to paint. But we come across a strange open grave here. A chill runs up your spine as you hear a sound emit from it, and we can interact with it to pull someone out of that shallow grave. We find out that he was buried alive by someone, and we promise to bring those to justice, whoever did it. Be tied was Boo's word. Okay. So anyway, we're going to head over to this crypt, and we'll find a very skinny, strange-looking man here. See what he has to say for himself.
Yes?
So he tells us to, we will find the orchestrator of this crime, the perpetrator, in the Bridge District, but we'll deal with that much later. More importantly, we have a room full of undead here. We've got two mummies and an undead warrior. Now, mummies are really, really annoying. They're really strong, and they can debilitate you in several different ways. Skeleton warriors aren't so bad. They can hit kind of hard, but they're not going to level drain you or whatever. I'm not sure if mummies can level drain, but some undead will level drain you, and that is the most annoying status effect in the game. Now, the main reason we're coming into this kind of worthless tomb here, there's some minor loot here and some experience, of course, but we need somewhere inside that we can buff up. See, we're going to spell buff to the max, and then we're going to head out and over to this tomb right down the road here. And what we're going to do is send in our main character by himself to deal with the Crypt King, who does have some power behind his punches there. He's a pretty strong enemy. I don't recommend you fight him unless you're spell buffed to the max. And I recommend you send one person in there before he can start targeting your weaker members. As you can see, our main character was hit by panic, but that's alright. Everyone else is still hasted. You can come down in here and make pretty short work of him now that he is finished casting his fear spell. Of course, you could cast Resist Fear if you wanted to, which is a long-lasting spell. I believe it lasts an hour, so Jaheira could cast that. But really, you know, it's all right. We'll heal up after we take care of him. Then we're going to head down to the southwest corner of the map into the lower tombs. Now, this is a pretty nasty dungeon here. You know, low-level parties like us can be overwhelmed here pretty easily, but I'm just going to take it slow, take it easy, use Yoshimo to find as many traps as possible. And there are quite a few traps here. We're looking at lots of undead, lots of spiders, lots of traps, but also lots of loot and lots of quest rewards here as well. So we'll see if we can get Edwin his nether scroll and Corgan his expensive book that he seems to think will net him some money. Which Corgan really, it says he's chaotic evil, but as far as I'm concerned, he's really neutral evil. He's more worried about gold than he is about causing, wanton chaos for no reason. Like, You know, if it's profitable for him, he's going to do it regardless of the moral implications, right? Um, yeah, I really like Corgan and Edwin, and Doran is okay. Like he's a really good fighter. I don't really love his character that much. We're not even going to see Doran in this playthrough, but an evil party with those three, Jahira, Imoen, and a good main character, probably the strongest possible party you can get. And that's, I mean, you know, I was tempted to do an evil playthrough just for that reason. But, you know, I wanted to be a good guy because in Baldur's Gate 1, you're kind of railroaded into being a good guy because you're fighting against Saravok, who is the incarnation of evil. He is chaotic evil to the nth degree. By the way, we're running across some spiders here. Just keep all your ranged weapons out. Pull them one at a time. And, you know, just focus fire with ranged weapons right now on these spiders. No big deal to take these guys out. They're not strong. They may poison you, but we have Jahira who can slow the poison. We have all kinds of stuff to deal with these crappy spiders. Of course, Edwin may not be, you know, you may not want to tank these spiders with Edwin, but still, you know, as long as you keep an eye on him, you should be alright. So we'll continue to make our way around here to the southeast, and we'll run into an undead here, an Ettercap. These guys can poison or disease you, I believe, but you know you're going the right way when you start coming across these undead, because it seems like they must be spilling out of the tombs that we're headed for. Sword Spider's quick. He's doing more damage to Jahira than I would like to see, but you know, we'll just heal up and get on through this tomb. Now, there's more to do here than what I'm showing, and I'll come back to it after we finish the quest for Edwin and Corgan. But I just wanted to get into the real meat of this dungeon, and rather than fighting 100 spiders at the beginning of the episode, I know it's not the most exciting thing. So here we go into this room to the south. We see a cool painting on the ground there. We also see some traps, and this room has a big nasty ambush with a bunch of undead. So what I recommend you do is just leave. As soon as you trigger the ambush, just walk out. No one's going to follow you out here. It'll give you time to spell buff. And it'll give Corgan time to tell you about his tome that he's looking for. But now we'll just spell buff and head back in. We want to deal with the whites first, because the whites can definitely level drain you. Whites are the most important, and then just take them out based on who's the squishiest. We'll hit these zombies. We'll destroy these zombies quick. Corgan is over there fighting 3 undead by himself, or 2, so we'll help him out as soon as we can finish off this skeletal warrior. Looks like Corgan's doing okay for himself. He just destroyed a zombie there. But yeah, the main challenge this room presents is level drain. And I've stolen a ton of restoration scrolls, so we'll be fine. The problem is, using a restoration scroll causes fatigue, and that means you have to stop to rest. And I really don't like to spam rest in this game. I feel like it's kind of lame, so we're going to heal up a bit before we head on into the rest of the room here, as well as see we have the level drained effect on Edwin, which really sucks because he's a mage. And that means we're going to need to relearn the spells that he has forgotten with his level drain effect. But we'll obviously do that off screen. We're going to heal up, and we'll try to ranged weapon these guys down. We don't want to pull these guys into a fight. We don't want to pull too many of these guys into a fight, because Ettercaps are pretty nasty if you fight 3 or 4 of them. Or, I'm sorry, that was a Ghast. My fault. Ghasts can be nasty. They can also level drain. Really annoying stuff, that level drain. And we see the beard of the woman there has a trap on it, as well as the other eye. But now we can just easily focus these guys down. And a vampire, yeah, the vampire is who you definitely don't want to have attacking you, along with the rest of the undead. because they're probably the nastiest undead enemies. Definitely in this tomb. You're not going to find more than one, I don't think, but still. Just checking my statuses here, making sure no one else is level drained, and it looks like we are good to go.
I will strive to lead responsibly.
So, with this room complete, that is the main difficulty of this dungeon. If you stay in this room when the ambush triggers, we almost triggered that trap there. You know, you're just asking for trouble. You need to leave the room and come back ready to focus fire some undead. You can see Corgan. He is exhausted there. He's fatigued. That's from the haste spell that we've cast. Did you hear? Everyone is fatigued now due to the haste spell wearing off. But that's okay. We're just dealing with a few mummies, and that's it. We're going to be fighting some mummies in this tomb on the way to Corgan and Edwin's quest objective. Nothing too serious. They're pretty tanky, to be honest. They can take some hits. That's why we're switching to melee. We want to actually get up in there and deal some good damage. Really annoying enemies, these mummies. But yeah, my plan for the rest of this episode is obviously to finish up what we've started here, but then we also want to finish up a quest, or at least get started on a quest that we accepted in the last episode from Nalia. We're going to head to her stronghold that was overrun and try to deal with that problem as well. So we're going to be making quite a bit of progress this episode. Oh yeah, I forgot about this encounter. It's kind of a nasty one. There are some wraiths here. Remember, focus fire the wraiths first, and then the ghasts, or whatever they're called. The shadow fiends, I'm sorry. The wraiths and then the shadow fiends. But we are hasted up. Everyone except Jaheira and Yoshimo, for some reason, they did not get that haste. And he's my main character. That's weird and annoying. That's why this fight's taking longer than it should. Because haste, I missed my haste cast somehow. Really annoying stuff there. But yeah, look at all these invisible bodies on the ground. That's cool, huh? So yeah, the path splits here. South for Corgan, east for Edwin. And yeah, we've pretty much done it at this point. Just checking for traps as usual. And we almost triggered one there. Traps are really good for experience if you haven't noticed that. So it's not like they're punishing you for being careful. They're really rewarding you. They are punishing you for being careless, of course. That's the whole point of the trap. But you know, some people are like, "Oh, I don't like this game because there's traps everywhere, and I have to go really slow through the dungeons." Well, yeah, you do. But it's not like, you know, the end of the world. It's satisfying to find a trap and disarm it. You know what's not satisfying? To smack a mummy 1,000 times. But eventually the mummy will die. Now we can get Corgan up here. I didn't want to send him forward because he's really close to being out of throwing axes at this point. We haven't gotten him, and we will not get him the really good replenishable throwing axe. Here we go, just playing it safe. You know, you never know how many undead are going to be there with that guy, so just trying to kite. Yep, 2 more mummies ahead, man. I swear, this tomb is well guarded. This nether scroll. We're going to trigger all 3 of these guys at once. That's that's good.
Useless weapon.
We send our melee guys up ahead. I didn't want to spell buff my main character for this fight. We're just going to let him sit back and shoot arrows. You guys notice we are using magical ranged weapons, at least +1 ammo, I believe, for everyone who's firing a bow. Edwin is using +2 ammo with a +2 sling, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, stealing stuff at the beginning of the game is what's going to make this quest possible, right? You need all of that magical ammo for this, or you're going to have a really hard time. Not to mention the nice armor, the nice shield, and everything else that we stole from the armor of Fletcher, and of course the spell books that we're not really using at all right now. It's just nice to learn spells for that big experience boost, especially early in the game. Just steal all the spells you can or all the scrolls you can, and memorize those. And we want to check for traps, but we are actually here, so.
This place will be your tomb.
So that poor guy, right? He was really trying to use his magic for good, but then everyone died that he knew, and everyone forgot who he was. We'll see what Edwin thinks about that. Edwin not quite so compassionate, but as you can see, we've already taken the necessary pre-fight precautions, spell buffing, hasting everyone, and blur mirror imaging the main character. It's really all you need to worry about in terms of early game spell buffs. Don't know why I switched to the melee weapon like that, but whatever. This guy, he's not much of an issue if you just get up on him and interrupt his spell casting, which should be easy in a 6 versus 1 fight that you have all the time in the world to prepare for. I mean, he's a bit tanky for a mage. I mean, he is technically a lich, but he's nothing compared to some of the liches we'll find later on, which are extremely devastating and impossible to kill.
This is it. This must be it. This has to be it. The just and unjust alike will all fear the overwhelming power of Edwin Odeseron and his nether scroll.
So we'll just let Edwin, have his little victory there. We're going to loot the room and see what we can find, and then we'll head back to the fort and head south. Of course, we will take a rest.
Life is strength. This is not to be contested. It seems logical enough. You live, you affect your world. But is it what you need? You are different inside. This woman lives and has strength of a sort. She lost her parents to plague, her husband to war, but she persevered. Her farm has prospered, her name is respected, and her children are fed and safe. She lived as she thought she should. And now she is dead. Her land will be divided, her children will move on, and she will be forgotten. She lived a good life, but she had no power. She was a slave to death. I wonder if you are destined to be forgotten. Will your life fade in the shadow of greater beings? You are born of murder, the very essence of that which takes life. You have power if you wish it. Really, but the consequences are so very real. Your actions affect so many others than yourself, you will come to realize how little choice you have. You will do what you must, become what you must, or others will pay for your cowardice. You will accept the gifts offered to you.
So more strange dreams there. There are a total of 3 of those special dreams that you can have in this chapter, and we will be showing all of them, of course. We're in no big hurry to go rescue Imoen, but then again, we're not going to do every quest possible in this game in Chapter 2. We will go rescue Imoen eventually. A couple more episodes, I think, should be plenty. So no resistance so far. Heading down this way. Oh, there's a trap finally. We see a large archway here up ahead. We're gonna anticipate some fighting up here. So, yep, we got a mummy and a trap right there. So, always be in trap finding mode. Always be in trap finding
This
mode.
tomb looks to be looted. The Franks, stinking bastards, beat us here. Those scoundrels of dine on me, sucking cold steel up when I'm through with them.
Grog Blossom, pick me dainties. Man, Corgan is awesome. I swear, I may have made the wrong choice by doing a good party just because Corgan is so great. But anyway, do your usual kite. Do not run into this room without disarming that trap, obviously. And do not run into that room anyway because there's going to be more enemies in there that are going to pull with zombies. So you want to just take care of enemies one at a time, whenever possible. Make your life a lot easier.
Thrice over their graves I'll be dancing, I swear. Stolen from under me. I'll do the work of ferreting out where the blasted book will be and those cracknuts taken away.
Okay, so it looks like Corgan already knows who has defiled this tomb.
Morgan, you are truly a paragon of dwarven ill humor. Can you find no joy in being alive? The smell of the morning dew and the feel of the free air. Aye, I find pleasure in the feel of an inquisitive thief's neck bone breaking between my hands.
Man, I'm glad that we're doing at least these early quests with Corgan and Edwin because the banter is just on point. Like, so good. Okay, so what do we have here? A skeletal warrior there. We want to obviously try to pull him, try to kite him, but I'm not sure how many more enemies are in this room. There's a very fancy looking tomb there. I wonder who keeps those fires lit, you know? Try to pin this guy down with Corgan here while the rest of us finish off his friend. He's just really struggling to make it to us. Every time he gets hit with an arrow or a sling bullet, he flinches there. Useful stuff. One of the things about ranged weapons that make them slightly more useful than they would be otherwise is the flinching mechanic. But anyway, these guardians of this tomb are pretty much pushovers. You know, they might, if they get lucky, they'll critical hit one of your, you know, low armor class warriors, which is fine. No big problem there. Well, I guess they won't critical you if you have a helmet on. But anyway, so now we're back in the main room and we see a large silk ball opening up, and 3 spiders spawn as well to protect the tomb, or to protect whatever is in there. We'll have to see. So once we've dealt with these 3 pushover spiders, we'll go ahead and run into the opening here of this large cocoon lit type thing.
Oh, glory for the Dark Mother!
And so Pinot has a few guys that explode into spiders around her. She is some kind of weird spider lady. Of course, she needs to be taken down. She gives us no other choice. So we cast Insect Plague with Jaheira and turn on the party AI, so I don't have to deal with clicking every individual little spider. You can see the yellow ring around these spiders means that they are panicking because they're under Insect Plague's spell there, so they're not going to do anything but run away, which is... Insect Plague is so useful. Like, that's the main reason you want to keep Jaheira in your party is Insect Plague. She's good as well as a frontline tank, so Jaheira is just awesome. And it's good she's neutral, so it doesn't matter what your alignment is, she'll be fine with whatever.
You are looking rather pensive today. Doubts about your current path, perhaps?
So okay, out of the tombs now, we got a black spider figurine from Pinot, which lets you summon a sword spider anytime you want, with a special name. So anyway, Bodhi, if you remember, she asked us to meet her here in the graveyard, but of course we spent all of our gold before we came here to avoid any kind of potential quest interrupting like that. So if you don't have 20,000 gold, she's just like, all right, whatever. Come back later. So of course we get waylaid by enemies leaving the district. Oops. Started attacking these guys before they were able to talk to me, but just murder these guys one at a time. I think there was a mage there. Just destroy the mage first, whatever. You know, after dealing with that tomb, I don't think a few thugs are going to be much of an issue, really. And they should really be smarter when picking their targets. They were outnumbered to begin with. Like, what were they expecting here? So once they're destroyed, we noticed a man laying on the ground, Renfeld. So we promised to take him to the docks district. Of course, Corgan's not interested. He wants to take his sweet revenge. But down in the docks district, close to Mavar's Guild Hall,
Can it be now?
and we do our good duty and deliver him to the Harpers here. And on the way out, we notice a man who we'll recognize from the first game. So in this game, Zara is not a recruitable companion, but if you remember from the first game, Zara and Montaron, the inseparable duo that you meet early on, are Zara in this game wants you to find his old friend Montaron, which is funny. He wants us to investigate the Harper Guild.
Taken too long. Ransacked she is. Looted she was.
So we head to where Corgan told us to come, Pimlico's estate. We have a quick explore of the place and find a room full of dead
By the
people.
looks
So
of
there
it,
you
me
go.
former comrades have painted Pimlico's finery with his innards.
And Corgan is amused at the least. So he magically understands that his enemy is going to be here on the roof of the Copper Coronet.
Say little has changed their gander, shagbag. Still a lamp dope and church.
So yeah, a fight ensues. You can see we've prepared for it a bit here. As long as Corgan doesn't approach, you can put the rest of your party wherever you want in this fight, which is useful because we cannot cast magic once again. We are outside in Athkatla. We would be apprehended quickly by the Cowed Wizards if we were to do that. These guys aren't too tough as long as you properly set up. Just the biggest difficulty of this fight comes with not being able to spell buff. Of course, you could run into the Copper Coronet, cast Haste, Blare Mirror Image, and run up here. But I preferred to just kind of do it in a more traditional way. Less of a cheesy way, I should say. But 2 left, and now we can completely focus each one down 1 on 6, and it should finish the fight quite quickly. No need for any special spells from Jaheira.
I did the killing, but I ends up with the gold, the book, and the satisfaction of kicking their tails. A good day.
So once we recover the book, we will pretty much have finished up Corgan's quest. All we need to do at that point is just sell it off, and that's what I'm going to do here. Sell it off to old Bernard. The Book of Kaza for 1350.
You know, bag of tricks, he and I are nae so different. If it's all with eye of newt and tug of salamander, aye, and the lax of bloodlust.
A rather bold conjecture, don't you think, Corgan?
So, we're going to remove Edwin from the party and Corgan from the party now. We can get them back at any time. Now that we've done their quests, they will join us whenever we want. Probably won't get them back, but it's good to know that they're safe.
Grind, eh? Are we off?
So is this to be it then?
Alright, so with those 2 out of the party, we can recruit Animan Delrin, our new party member.
Strangers, perhaps you have more courage than the worms that frequent this pit of corruption. I am Anomen, warrior priest of hell. What is your name?
Okay, so now we've got Animan in the party, and he will remain in the party until the end of the game. He kind of sucks right now if you look at his stats. He has kind of shit charisma for a cleric, but we will upgrade him before we go get Imoen. And it will boost his wisdom by 4 points, and then he will be really decent. So he comes with a shield, Animan's family shield right there, Delrin family shield, I'm sorry. Pretty decent shield at this point in the game. I mean, we'll replace it soon enough, but, you know, he comes with some armor, not that great. But we will just steal some stuff for him, and get him nice and equipped. He's good with maces and slings, which is going to be our choice, our weapons of choice for him until we can find some better stuff. And we are of course ambushed as usual. This time by quite a few enemies. These Orogs are big old scary looking dudes with spiky pauldron armor. Don't be too scared of them though. Just cast Armor of Faith with Jaheira and Defensive Harmony, and then we will come back here, let her do the tanking, and we will focus first on the humans and then on the Orogs. Once they're focused on Jaheira, we can move in with our other melee guys. Now remember, we're outside, can't cast haste. Can only cast priest or druid spells at this point. So Animan could cast some stuff, but he's going to sit back with his sling and throw +2 ammunition. Right now we don't have a mage, a dedicated caster. Of course my main character is a fighter mage, but he is mainly using his spells to boost his melee ability. And it's going to be a little while until we get anyone into our party who is a mage thief. So our next course of action is going to be to recruit Nalia just long enough to do her quest. But it will be nice because she is also a dual class mage thief. And now only humans can dual class. It means you start as one class and then you choose to dual class. And once you reach the proper level that you dual classed from, you get all the abilities from your original class on top of your new class. And that's a really strong idea to build a character on. But I never explained this in the first episode. That's why I'm kind of going over it now. I prefer multi-classing, where you level up several different classes at the same time. Takes longer to level up, but still. So now we're headed to the city gates, because in order to leave Athkatla, you must go through this district. There's some interesting stuff going on here. We'll come back to it for sure.
Declare yourself.
So we witness a pretty innocent bribe. Doesn't seem like any nefarious things were going on there. He was just giving the guard some spice to leave him alone. Whatever. You know, we're not lawful good. We don't give a shit about anything like that. But yeah, to leave Athkatla, you must pass through that district. And of course, we are ambushed along the way as per usual. We wouldn't be traveling if we weren't ambushed. So this mage can be kind of problematic. Just make sure you focus on that mage first before she can buff up all the way. It could be really dangerous. And Yoshimo is in a kind of a bad spot right now. He's up against it's like a rogue class bandit there with a dagger. He's trying to get Yoshi. Took a little bit of damage, but we'll just awkwardly kite as we do. We're outside the city now. We can cast spells if we want to. No real need to though. Had that mage caused us more of an issue, then maybe we would. But right now we're just going to focus these guys down, as we usually do, with our really good gear that we've gotten from robbing the entire city blind. These guys are no issue. But they do have some decent loot on them, so make sure to always make sure to loot bodies in this game. I'm not showing it because it's boring to watch, but just always make sure to loot everyone you kill.
Tell me, how did you get into adventuring? It is a dangerous business, as you well know. Any one of us could die without even a moment's notice.
So Yoshimo finally learning what most of the party already knows. He's traveling with the son of murder or whatever. He took it pretty well though. So we arrive at Diarnis Keep at nighttime, which is creepy. We see these weird these poles on the ground with people impaled on them. It looks like pretty obvious warning there, saying stay away. But what can you do? I mean, we need that flail of ages. That's one of the main reasons we're doing this quest. My main character specializes in flails, so may as well get the best one in the game, right? Early on. And also, there's other reasons. There's other good loot here besides the Flail of Ages. Several +3 weapons, and always worth doing this quest early on. And since I'm a fighter, this is going to unlock the Fighter Stronghold, which will be fun.
I've been waiting positively ages for you.
No, you haven't. Waiting like 2 or 3 days. Come on. Okay, so Nalia is now in the party. We'll check and see what she's good at here. She's, of course, like I was talking about, part mage, or at least she's a full mage now. She dual classed at level 4 from Thief. She's good at a short sword, dagger, quarterstaff, short bow, and dart. And we'll go ahead and level up for her, get her some additional mage spells before we rest. Now, if you stole as many scrolls as I did and a scroll case, you should have some spells for her ready so that she can go ahead and learn some stuff. But at the same time, if you don't feel like doing that because she's only going to be in the party for, however long, don't worry about it. It's not important really. It is nice to get that extra experience though. We'll talk to Captain Eric here. So it's worth mentioning you can talk to him as many times as you want, and he will always give you 20 fire arrows. So you can stock up on infinite fire arrows if you want, which is the only way to kill the trolls if you've been reading. Once they get to 0 health, they will fall down. Then you have to hit them with a fire or a acid attack, and that'll finish them off. So if you don't know that and you try to fight trolls, it will seem impossible.
We should find Daleson first, if he's still alive, and then make our way to the courtyard and open the drawbridge.
Okay, sounds like a plan. We're in a very tight, cramped area here. We're going to be fighting from room to room, which at this point we're used to, but it's not going to be as open as the tomb was. So lots of choke points here to use to kite enemies, which if you've ever played Pillars of Eternity, you'd be pretty familiar with that strategy. Looks like we've got a new crossbow for our main character here, along with some magical ammo. Just want to make sure everyone has a ranged option and that everyone has a fire option. Which, Jahira is not going to since she's using a sling, but at the same time, she's going to be our main tank for the most part. So it's not that important. Remember, constantly be searching for traps. I don't think there are too many traps in Diarnis, but there are some. So I would almost rather there be a lot, because when there's only a few,
How are we helping the less fortunate trudging around in here?
you can kind of sleep on them, and that's when they'll get you. So anyway, we run into our first troll in this first bedroom. Looks like a servant's quarters here. How is he punishing you? What was he doing? Anyway, we see the trolls are terrifying, man. They're really big, huge, like 8 foot long arms with big claws. Creepy dudes, real creepy. And they hit pretty hard, as you can tell. Animan is really taking some licks in this fight. So we'll have to reconsider our having him as a frontline fighter for now. We need to get him some better gear. But we heal up and head through here to find Dalesen.
I have nothing you wish.
So Nalia may have a thing for Dalesen there. Who knows? She's interesting. She's kind of annoying, but you can't say she's not an interesting character. So we loot this room and head on through the side tunnel here. Our main goal is to collect all 3 of the Flail of Ages heads, so that we can use the forge to eventually put it together and make the Flail of Ages. It's a whole little thing that we'll have to do, but it's not hard. The first piece is going to be through here. And also, you heard Nalia mention the cellars. We're going to have to find our way to the cellars as well, but our first goal is still going to be to open that drawbridge and try to get some soldiers in here to provide support for us while we do the hard part afterwards. And some inventory management here, man. We just have so much bullshit in our inventory. It's going to take years to manage it. So forgive me. Let me cut that out there. But yeah. Just a mess right now in my inventory. Just wanted to show you guys that. So anyway, we find another troll here as one of my characters runs the wrong way because there was I hate these little choke point doors because it really screws you over. Like, characters get stuck and they don't know what to do. Like, how hard is it to code AI that just waits a second before it fucking goes into the door? But Minsk is out there all by himself, with his big two-handed sword. We're going to try to provide support for him here, but it looks like he's going to take the brunt of this troll's attacks. Nope, no, okay, never mind. We got him back. We're good. Now we'll all just focus the troll down. No problem there. Just make sure you finish him off with fire as per usual. And he drops like a bag of rocks. That's so annoying. They all go the opposite way. But anyway, we'll head into the secret room finally and find that first hit. And as you can see right there, what we passed, this little square thing that the rest of my party's standing beside, that is the forge. So that's where you'll want to come once you find all 3 of the heads. A really cool room here with like a big elephant statue and like some other cool like statues, man. Pretty neat stuff. So back to the room we started in, the servant's quarters, where the servant was getting punished somehow by that troll. We're going to try to sneak around the outside here. Around the outside of the large dining room there. The Great Hall, most likely. This keep's really cool. It's really cool when you find out for the first time that you actually get to keep it. Like it actually gets to become your stronghold. That is if your main character is a fighter. Anyway, we're going to prod forward looking for traps. And that door right there is going to lead us straight out into the courtyard. But first, we need to help some more servants, or at least watch them explode. We'll do our best to to watch that guy. Man, it must be terrifying to be just a normal like peasant, and suddenly a troll comes up. Things are like 12 feet tall. But one troll at a time, never going to present too much of a threat for us as long as Jahir is up front with her. Really nice armor class. She's using a large shield +2 right now, along with some plate mail +1. So her armor class is just perfect. It's hard for any enemy to hit her at this point. And there he goes. Got a fried troll. So we'll send Nalia forward searching for traps.
I'm sure all manner of stupid mousetraps await our toes in the dark.
And Yoshimo mentions there are traps around, so we're just gonna take our time and slowly look for these traps. That's the wood range stove right there. So there are 4 puppies outside that you can decide to murder, and you can cook them there, which is not something I'm gonna do. Don't worry. We'll let the puppies live, but if you do that, you can use that dish, if you call it that, later on in the level, and kind of get around some tough enemies. But I would rather fight the tough enemies because we're ready for that. Our party's strong. The only thing we need to worry about is traps and ambushes. If we can take a fight on our terms, we can pretty much deal with almost anything at this point in the game. Anything the game can throw at us at this point. And especially after we nab this nice flail, we'll really be in business. These ice trolls, I don't know why they're black, like totally black like that. It makes no sense. Am I missing a texture or something? They look like look like the character from Smash Bros. Like Mr. Game & Watch. What's going on? I know that's not the original game he was in, Smash Brothers, but still. I'm not much, I don't play too many Nintendo games. I should, though. I love Nintendo games. It's just, you know, they don't cross-platform at all, ever, so. Got the main table there. You can see my chair right in the middle. Well, not yet, but soon to be. And we will search the final room here on the first floor. Find another ice troll. He looks like he's been charred. Really weird. I mean, really creepy stuff. Like if he was in in the shadows, you wouldn't even be able to see him. Just terrifying. These trolls. So lots of stuff in this room. Lots of boxes to search, chests. So we're gonna cut that out. I'm just making sure there was no traps, and it was just kind of a lengthy process. Anyway, out to the courtyard we go. Got an Autug out here. We haven't seen one of those since Irenicus' dungeon. This one falls much quicker than that one did. Luckily, no one was diseased. But the strategy here is to just bum rush these enemies up here, because if you try to take it easy on them, they can really overwhelm you. So we need to get up in here and make the most of our haste spell. We're going to send up Anomen by himself here to open the drawbridge, and everyone else is going to rush back, because we want to help out with this fight as quick as we can. Soldiers come rushing in through the gate, and more enemies come out. And the most dangerous one right here is the Yuan-Ti Mage. So we want to just get up on that mage and absolutely destroy him. And once we're done with that, then this fight is no issue. But if we let the mage spell buff, it could be a problem for us there. So that's why. Now we head back inside and up to the second floor.
I'll have to find my aunt's bedroom. There's a secret passage within that leads to the cellar entrance.
Okay. So we're getting close. Her auntie's bedroom is on this floor somewhere, which, as she says, has a secret entrance to where we believe Lord Diarnis is being kept. And we have some more trolls in the halls here. Why are they always by themselves? Like, if like 3 or 4 of these guys rush me, it might be kind of a problem. But nope, they're always going to fight you like 1 or 2 at a time, so... Got a big, big traffic jam here in the hallway. We could not open that door, so we will continue on. And another door that does not have a conventional lock there. Have to find a way in. For now, we'll just continue through the hallway, searching for traps as we go, but not really too worried about it because we know that there are trolls patrolling these hallways, so it's unlikely there's going to be traps. We come down into a really cool little room with a fountain in the middle, and like a nice lounging area. So we must be, this must be her bedroom right here. Because of course she would want to be as close as possible to that really nice room. But we'll send Ollie forward, searching for traps as usual. Can't open the door just yet, we have to find the key. Big long hallway here. So we definitely don't want to run into an enemy with Nalia leading. She would get shredded so quick. She's slightly tankier than Edwin, but still, not much. So we've got another troll in this room, trying to pretend he's a guest or something, I don't know. Eventually we get the rest of our party to come support right on time for the troll to be dead before they can do anything. And of course we're going to make sure this dresser is not trapped. See what's inside. Not a key to her room, but we will find that key eventually if we keep looking. We somehow saw through that wall to find a secret passageway that we can't even get to just yet, but okay, now we're into the library, it looks like, the study. We have a small little troll here. And now this fight is kind of could be bad. He just cast Stone Skin there. We're already distracted, so what we want to do, completely ignore the trolls. Focus on the mage only. A haste spell would have been good before we entered this room, but it looks like we're going to get away with it. We're trying to finish off the ice troll here with a fire arrow, and luckily we finished off that mage before he could do too much damage to us. The Yuan-Ti mages are by far and away the most dangerous enemies in the entire keep. Well, I say that there is one enemy that we're about to run into that may qualify as a bit tougher than the mage, but there's only one. So, and this troll explodes into 2 smaller trolls, which is totally makes sense. I don't know how trolls' anatomy works, but apparently there's 2 little trolls inside of him somehow. And Jaheira does have Flame Blade, so we're gonna pop a Flame Blade here because I think we're starting to run out of ammunition there. So Jaheira's Flame Blade will be enough. And this is the room we're actually going to find the key to the to her auntie's bedroom. Okay, so we can't head into that door. It's damaged. So no choice but to continue around. We're almost back to where we started here. One more room to check. No troll? Well, okay. But now the door opens for us here since we have that key. We find a secret passageway as well as a lootable fireplace.
Stand. Aside from a few servants, we've seen very few dead. Where are the guards?
So we hear mention of Glacius, who we will be running across very soon, and a trapped fireplace here. Let's see what we find in there. Just a wand, and of course our inventory is too full to grab it. Good stuff there. Good inventory management by me. I swear. So through the secret passage and down the hallway. Always searching for traps, even though this is a secret passage. Probably not going to be trapped. And into an empty room here with a few actually trapped chests, I believe. Yep. No, the door is trapped. I'm sorry. Knew there was a trap in this room somewhere. And we can easily pick the lock here. And inside this room, we're going to find Glacius himself, who is going to be immediately hostile. Now all we need to do is cast a Dispel Magic, and he will snap out of it, so don't actually have to kill him. You still get the head of the flail, or one of them. And of course, Glacius is he's very happy that you didn't murder him, so that's good. You hear gains a level. We got quite a few new spells there. We can give her a level 6 one, most notably. And Yoshimo here, we're going to go ahead and up his short sword and find traps ability. So we have a lot of short swords right now. We have a +3 short sword that no one's going to be using. But at the same time, Yoshimo is going to be traded out for Imoen. But once again, that's going to be a good amount of time from now. So we may as well keep getting Yoshimo some good level ups there. And another empty room here. Not much to see, so we're going to swing back around to the auntie's bedroom.
Do not disturb my duties.
Oh, 'tis like a nightmare. Yet more hooligans tracking their filth through the halls.
Auntie, please! We have come to rescue you!
Nalia? Oh my dear, what have you brought home with you this time?
rather an amusing bit of restraint on your part, and I appreciate that. She's decent enough, but very set in her ways and hard to deal with. Come, we must rescue my father.
Okay, so after dealing with you know, the best character in the game, Nalia's aunt, she's quite a card, that's for sure. I wonder if anyone in the history of the world has ever been that absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, probably there probably has been. So anyway, we have two doors here. One leads to a staircase going down, which is where we're going to find what we're looking for there. But right here, we're going to come across a room filled with golems. Now, this is the enemy I was talking about, the Iron Golem. He can only be damaged by +3 weapons. So what we're going to do here is we're not going to loot the statues just yet, because looting the statues is what triggers all of the golems to attack you. Instead, we're just going to fight them one at a time, and this is the way to do it. They're not going to be able to fight back. As long as we have some +3 weapons for the Iron Golem, we can deal with him. But if you don't feel like dealing with the Iron Golem, you can always just run away. He's too big to leave this room. So. But once you do loot the 3 statues on the north wall there, he will activate. So they'll all activate. That's why we're killing them one at a time first.
Something is wrong here.
So +2 weapons and blunt weapons only for clay golems. +2 weapons only for the stone golems, and +3 weapons only for the iron golem. Some tough enemies. They hit hard. You know, you're gonna have to probably heal up after each fight. Just to be sure. But once we finish this guy off, we can really test our luck here with this big iron golem. So like I said, these 3 statues are going to provide you with the weaponry you need to destroy him. You can actually loot the flail head, and he will not activate if you just loot the flail head. So what we're going to do is take that, and then we'll head back downstairs to the furnace I was talking about, the forge. And we're going to forge the Flail of Ages, which is a super good flail, probably the best in the game. +3 flail for our main character. Here we go. You can read the description if you want, but 33% chance of slowing target for 20 seconds, as well as +1 acid, cold, and fire damage. Every single attack, you'll get that. So now we got a +3 axe here, a +3 bow here. And now we're going to go ahead and equip all the +3 stuff and try our damnedest to kill this Iron Golem for a nice XP reward. If you notice, we haven't even cast haste or blur or mirror image on him. Really, betting on him not being able to hit us. We'll try to hit him with a chromatic orb, because of why not? Maybe he'll get paralyzed. And you can hear everyone saying no effect, no effect. But rather than having them stand around doing nothing or shooting ammunition, I'm just having them serve as another distraction for this Iron Golem. Yoshimo's doing damage, main character's doing damage. And finally we take down the Iron Golem. He did a little bit of damage to us, but nothing we can't heal up from. We're going to actually take a rest.
Stand. You rest each night uneasy. Yes, you are weary. You struggle daily. It will not end, you know, until you acknowledge what you are. You walk as a mortal, taking no advantage from your heritage, from your talents within. So many things of flesh are greater than you. Walk among them, these beasts that are less than you are. See their strength, see how easily you fall to their muscle and skill. Why do you stand for this? Why do you submit to the flesh when death is bred in your bones? Do you realize the power you might hold? When the world of flesh is beneath you, even creatures mysterious and magical will fall. Follow and receive the gift you are owed by the blood in your veins. Follow, if only to protect the weak that fell because of you.
So another strange dream, and thankfully that one will be the last. We're going to head down to the cellars finally to finish off Diarne's Keep. Well, there were a couple traps in this room, but now that we have looted it and cleared it, we're going to go ahead and open this door to find some pretty nasty enemies inside. A couple of normal trolls and also a spectral troll you'll see down there, who is a bit of an annoying character, especially since we're really running low on fire ammo. So we're just going to have to take him out the best we can. We're going to cast Web, try to hold him in place. Not really my favorite spell. I mean, it's really annoying because it affects your party as well, but since we're all using ranged weapons and trolls have no range, we may as well take advantage using what pitiful spells Nalia has to offer. So now we're going to haste up and run into this room to hopefully finish off these last two trolls. Well, our entire party gets caught in the web, so we rethink our plan and try to pull them into the doorway to take them on one at a time. They're both caught as well, though, so really annoying stuff. Cast a lightning bolt there, just for fun. Haven't seen one of those yet. But now we're finally able to kind of work together to take these trolls out. We're going to have to use Nalia's spells, though, to finish this one. Don't use all your ammo in the first part of the dungeon, kids. Or, I mean, at this point, we still could go out and talk to Captain Errett and get more fire arrows from him, but we're so close to finishing the dungeon. We may as well just head on. Now we see a new weird, scary enemy there who is throwing something at us, and it is a Umber Hulk is what those guys are called. They can be pretty nasty. You want to make sure you fight them on your own terms. Obviously, you want to fight them as few at a time as possible. We'll cast some Armor of Fates here and some Defensive Harmonies. And then we're going to nut up and try to take these guys down. What other option do we have, right? Cast a slow on them here. Probably not the best idea running forward with Nolly into a group of Umber Hulks, but what can you do? She's not the smartest lady when it comes to casting spells through doors. Not really, it's my fault, but these Umber Hulks hit like trucks. This is where you can use the dogs that you've murdered. If you cook them up, you can distract the Umber Hulks with the dog meat and get by without a fight, I believe. But who, might as well fight them. They're worth 4,000 experience apiece, and it's not like they're invincible. They just hit hard. As long as your party is hasted up and focused firing, you should be able to deal with them okay enough. Obviously, if you start to, one of your characters gets confused or whatnot, like what just happened, just try to support them the best you can. Try to keep them from running off and activating more enemies. Luckily, at this point, there are no more enemies to activate in the level, other than through the door there. We're going to get ready here to go through this door and finally confront the boss of the dungeon here. We're going to haste up, we're going to blur up, we're going to Armor of Faith up. We're going to do everything we can to make this fight easy. And, we're fully buffed. We're going to send our main character forward and meet Torgal.
Smell you. I do. You bragdunk. No be hiding on Torgal.
getting really aggressive with him. Because yeah, there's a dead body in this room, and it is may or may not be Nalia's dad or whatever, uncle. I don't know. Anyway, in this fight, you just want to focus on one at a time. Use the same strategies you've been using. They're slightly tougher versions of the trolls we've already killed. You know, as long as you spell buff, and as long as you don't get a really unlucky critical hit on your main character, there you should be fine. These guys are strong though, so don't underestimate them. Cast whatever spells you think is going to help. That chromatic orb actually paralyzed that troll, which is amazing. Minsk doing work with his bow, but our main character is taking quite a bit of damage here. We're going to have to pop one of these potions, which is you always want to have a good, healthy supply of these potions, these big potions, to help out your main character whenever no one's there to heal him up, right? So, giant troll is all that's left. So we're just going to rush him down. But you see, once Torgal falls, our journal is updated, so... Fight went okay. It could have gone better.
Dead. Die, you beast! I will clear this place of any taint you left behind. I will. I will.
Be weary when my skills call for careful concentration.
You wear the scars of battle with pride, Anaman, like one who truly believes his cause.
I must. It is what pushes me forward. Doubt is the enemy.
My home. My father. What is left? Someone has done this. But who?
Greetings to you, Your Grace. I understand from Mistress Nalia that you are to be the new proprietor of the keep and the surrounding farmlands, yes?
Okay, so now that Diarne's Keep is ours, we're going to head back to Athkatla to acquire one more weapon for our main character before we end this episode. So head to the Temple District into the Guarded Complex. So we come across a peculiar pair, Sean and Keta, or Sion and Keta. There's a nasty ambush on this first floor of this house, but other than that, there's no enemies to worry about. So I would recommend to just send Yoshimo in stealth mode up until you trigger the ambush. It's going to be a lot of nasty summoned creatures, including a Glabrizu, which can only be hurt by +2 weapons. So my advice is to let this battle play out while your party just sits over here in the side room and waits until some of the combatants are down. The ogre berserkers and whatnot will easily be taken out because nothing can damage the Glabrizu. None of those monsters have +2 weapons. So go ahead and spell buff to the max before heading out, and we'll try to knock the Glabrizu out of the fight while he's still focused on the Ifriti there. We'll do our best to keep everyone alive because this is a pretty tough enemy here. If you try to fight the entire room at the same time, it's not going to go well, especially this early in the game. But this fight's nothing compared to the next one. So for now, Animan needs to get out of the fight. He's really taking some damage, and the Glabrizu is not trying to let him get away that easily. We'll just keep running away, just keep kiting the best we can, and eventually the Glabrizu will finally fall. Now we just have to worry about the Ifriti, who is also very annoying. Just an annoying enemy. He's not going to do too much damage to you. But still, don't take him lightly. He will turn into mist here, and he will regenerate to full health. There's probably a way to kill him from his mist form here. But what I do instead is just pull back and try to heal up Animan a bit and Yoshimo while we wait. Now that he's back, we can finish him off pretty easily here. We'll go down quick. And there he goes. So that's the first floor of this house taken care of. What our prize, what we want, is on the second floor, though. So send up your entire party after you re-spell buff, re-haste, re-blur, re-mirror image, everything like that. Send everyone upstairs, and then immediately run back downstairs. You caught a glimpse of that party in there. Luckily, the only one that comes down is Koshi, the man wielding the Celestial Fury, the +3 katana that we want for our main character's main hand weapon. And he goes down really easily since he's not being supported by his 5 other really powerful party members. Now, just take a look at the stats of this thing. It's probably the best katana in the game, definitely the best one in Shadows of Am. But now that we have Celestial Fury on our side, we can head up here. The spells we're going to cast on these guys include Slow and Chaos. Obviously, we're going to cast Insect Plague as well. The best spell in the game for neutralizing mages. So there's a nasty mage up here. There's also a nasty cleric. So just make sure you go all out. There's also 2 traps up here, one on either side of the pole that our party is hanging out by. So that's why we're not running forward. We're letting the enemies come to us, slowed and chaosed as they are, and we're just going to do our best to gang up on them all, or to gang up on them one at a time. First off, we have a big Minotaur fighter here. He's no joke. Our party can handle him though because everyone else is really having issues in his party. And there's also another big problem, a rogue who will constantly chug potions of invisibility right there. As soon as she appears, I recommend you turn all of your attention to her. It's Keta, who we saw at the beginning when we entered this house. So kill Keta. Once she's down, you're not going to have to worry about any nasty sneak attack criticals hitting any of your squishy party members. So now we'll focus on Mepharon, the Minotaur. And once he's down, next we're going to focus on the Ogre fighter that they have. Just really, really tough. Olaf is his name. And we're going to try to defuse this trap and get out there on those mages and clerics. That mage and that cleric. And that will wrap up this fight. Now, like I said, if you try to fight this without luring Koshi out, you probably won't be able to win this fight. I mean, I'm just being honest. These guys are so strong.